As you probably know, people often complain about boredom and lack of time at the same time. Why is it like that? Because our life is full of boring, routine things. However, by trying something new, getting out of your comfort zone, watching the beauty of this world, you can find inspiration and motivation. In this episode, you will witness the most amazing moments that were captured on camera. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel not to miss even more interesting episodes. Heavy fog creates a gloomy and mysterious atmosphere, especially uncomfortable if you're somewhat high in the mountains. The humpback whale is slow-moving, but it performs its magnificent jumps very effectively and gracefully. There are many different attractions in the world, but even an ordinary swing of huge size can make one hold their breath and their heart beat faster, especially when they're installed on the edge of the abyss. After careful consideration of the amount of light, the shadow from each element of the sculpture should fall in a certain direction. Only then, masterpieces of shadow sculpture are born. Insects and animals are characterized by a desire to remain invisible to predators, but unlike them, not all succeed in disguise. The futuristic infrastructure of some cities may seem to someone like a set for a science fiction film, but for locals, it is a common thing. This is the perfect option for those who prefer a quick result to the process. Thailand is a beautiful sunny country where monkeys live their best life. This is probably the most unusual water volleyball court. How insignificant a person seems against the background of majestic mountains. It's interesting to know how this car ended up in this position, but even more interesting is how to lower it to the ground with minimal damage. Mountain goats are not only very agile and hardy, but also fantastically jump through crevices. The laws of physics are just an empty sound to them. The pyramids of Giza are one of the 7 wonders of the world, which have become a symbol of ancient Egyptian civilization. Even if these are not so big, but their number and location are admirable. Before watching similar videos, it would be great to buy some sedative pills. One needs nerves of steel here. The main thing in freeride snowboarding is the unique feeling of riding on untouched snow in the most unusual places. It can sometimes be difficult to understand the emotions of animals, but this seal clearly wants to be given attention. Mountains have always attracted people with the opportunity to test their strengths and make unforgettable impressions. Turkish coffee is a unique drink with a rich history, which pleases with its taste and aroma. Unsurprisingly, love for it takes on a variety of forms. The meeting of residents of this area was productive, and this year they decided not to compete, but to decorate the houses the same way, turning the streets into a string of Santa Clauses. Such a strong wind can not only accelerate the process of skating, but also knock you down. On the one hand, you want to run through the crisp snow. On the other, just admire this winter fairy tale from afar. Their musical performance attracts the audience not by their talented playing of instruments. After what I saw, I don't want to buy frozen fish anymore. In Dubai, everything is being built on a special scale. This shopping center is no exception. The art of bird watching has become a fashionable hobby all over the world. This activity allows you to contemplate the beauty and diversity of nature, make photo masterpieces, and even satisfy scientific interest. It is often said that there is no limit to human cruelty. Fortunately, there are people who prove that there is still a lot of goodness in the world. The man was not at all concerned about his own comfort when he saw an elderly woman in a wheelchair in trouble. What an ideal option for those who have built their dream home but can't get along with neighbors. Undoubtedly, the duck feels very comfortable in this house. A frozen lake is not a place where you can try to resist the wind. Strict but very effective measures have been taken to maintain order on the roads at some pedestrian crossings in China. Preparing for such a cocktail show takes a long time, but the effect is amazing. The residents of this house are not shocked by the appearance of an uninvited guest. If this had happened in another country, the cobra easily would have struck terror into everyone around and would have become the owner of the house. Beautiful and sparsely populated beaches may be well more dangerous than you thought. New Zealand is one of the most picturesque countries on the planet, which has preserved its unique nature in its original form. It's a pleasure to enjoy it from a bird's eye view. Can you imagine a more beautiful place to skate? The wind and snow can draw unique patterns on the surface of the Earth. If Spider-Man could transform into a spider, he'd look exactly like this. She worked abroad as a maid for many years to help her son realize his dream. Now he's the pilot of the plane on which she will go home. Would you like to go on such an escalator to explore the underwater kingdom? It is scary to think how long it'll take to get out of this traffic jam and get to your destination. It is very convenient when the oxygen mask is really comfortable to wear. As they say, sleight of hand and no fraud. If you haven't liked this episode yet, now is the best time to do it. Modern drones, lasers, and light installations can create fantastic shows and an incredible atmosphere. Solar eclipses are not that uncommon, but such spectacular and large scale occur infrequently and strike to the core. Perhaps this is not an accident, but a planned attempt to attack a cyclist.
Like a huge one over here, please. Like right there. I'm gonna try to be Zeus and be like, down.
I wonder if there was any purpose to this incredible climb besides impressing others. The mirror image of clouds on the south surface of the water is fascinating and suggests that everything in nature is thought out to the smallest detail. Just add a couple of dry branches and you can invite everyone to roast kebabs on the campfire. When the friends finally free up the evening for the game, nothing will interfere with their plans. This kid has found a great place to meditate. The main thing is that he stays in place at the same time and does not inadvertently sail into the middle of a reservoir. When you watch horses in motion, it seems that they feel really free. Do you also think that this is a very peculiar marketing ploy and many people will feel more guilty in front of their own body for eating a treat? Perhaps such a ball far in the sky may seem mysterious and creepy, but up close, its launch looks grandiose. Methane bubbles rise from the bottom of the lake, creating a stunning visual effect, as well as providing a chance to have a unique experience. Most likely, this city is very comfortable to live in since they try so hard to keep it clean. Surely you did not expect that this is the beginning of an amazing pyrotechnics show. The spectacular nature of this fireworks show is added by the features of the landscape. The lights are reflected in the sea surface, and the mountains create a special acoustic effect. Perhaps in the future, parking lots will look like this. Thanks to the wind and thaw, the ice flows cascade over each other and create a fascinating spectacle. There is some extraordinary romance in dining by the sea, but when the water starts to get so close, it becomes uncomfortable. Even pandas are well aware of how useful carrots are for teeth. Would you agree to be a toy in the hands of a 30-ton gorilla? Without using brushes and easels, nature is still the best artist. It creates simply magnificent views. Creative people are able to not only create works of art, but also to use their talent and natural objects in order to create a real masterpiece. It was so cool! It's hard to comprehend how this is even possible. Glaciers amaze with their scale and beauty, and mysterious ice caves lurk in their depths, like in the castle of the Snow Queen. It is unlikely that the inhabitants of this place are delighted with the visitors who walk through them. It may be very spectacular, but you shouldn't be surprised by the electricity bills later. Do you also think that this is the beginning of a wonderful friendship? This fan of the Rammstein group may regret choosing this method of clearing snow. Not only is it unsafe, but the road may well turn into a skating rink after that. This guy has found a very worthy opponent for his football training. I think that he also needs a guitar in his hands. It would definitely look like a scene from the Mad Max movie. What an easy way to feel like a wizard who can control insects. It looks like this train has entered the real world from the fairy tale of the Snow Queen. Even though it looks magical, in fact, the reason for this is a malfunction that turned on the fire protection system. It's pointless to scold a stray dog for what is done. All that remains for the worker is to watch, wait, and hope that the situation does not get worse. This is probably one of the best places for a first date. Such a beautiful sunset will definitely be remembered for a lifetime. Usually a person is confident in his superiority on Earth, but here you can feel vulnerable and negligibly small. Even buses in Iceland had to adapt to the peculiarities of the local climate and terrain. What a great way to spend time to relieve stress from time to time. His whistling saved the musicians from having the song appear online ahead of time. Everyone has days when this is the perfect cup of coffee. After heavy rains, the flow of water in this waterfall in China becomes even more powerful. Pearl farms have been operating in warm tropical seas for many years, where nature and man work together to create beautiful stones. People have always dreamed of conquering the sky. One of the reasons is to see the most beautiful sunrises and sunsets. This chef not only prepares the most delicious pizza dough, but also tries to entertain guests while they are waiting for their dinner. This kid does not waste time in vain and uses every free minute to hone his skills. When the dough is twisted by hands on the weight and thrown into the air, it is not only to attract the attention of potential customers. As a result of the centrifugal force, more carbon dioxide bubbles remain in it, and it becomes even more airy. Even adults are no strangers to sincere joy when they see so many balloons. Isn't this the realization of the childhood dream of all the boys in the world? Who would have thought that such an unpleasant incident as damage to a water pipe could create such a spectacular picture?
To be honest, I'm speechless after witnessing it. What about you?
Once it was difficult to imagine that technological progress would contribute to the creation of vehicles capable of driving on such a road. In many legends, mermaids and sirens are not only seductive creatures, but also insidious. They are luring sailors with a sole purpose of destroying them. Who knows, maybe this tragedy was not without its participation. National Park, Lenqua Marinensis, is located on the shores of the Atlantic Ocean. This place is definitely worth adding to the list of places to visit. Snow-white sand dunes and small lakes with turquoise clear water will not leave anyone indifferent. Do you like such festive decorations, or are they too strange to create a Christmas mood? Of these houses love holidays very much and consider it their duty to celebrate them on a grand scale. Winter fishing is a delicate and fascinating business, especially if it happens like this. In the southwest of Turkey, in the city of Muğla, there is a delightful restaurant that everyone should visit. This incredibly dangerous route, which makes your head spin, is located in India at the top of the Kalvantine Durg in the Western Ghats. You can take the metro in Mexico City to almost anywhere in the city, but no one wants to use this transport during rush hours. Roads in the mountains are not only dangerous, their main advantage is that it is impossible to take your eye off the view outside the window. If your things don't fit in the car, you can always find a solution to this problem. Who needs luxury restaurants if in Brazil you can dine at the height of a 50-story building overlooking a waterfall? Surely any dish here seems tastier. Most often, diving is a lifelong hobby because getting to know the underwater world, its inhabitants, and its beauties can give you a lot of pleasant emotions. Therefore, divers return to the sea again and again. This device for feeding pets will not only make sure that they are full, but also amuse everyone who witnessed this process. It is unlikely that it is possible to wash this car all the time, so the smell and appearance of it are often literally like a dirty dog. Silk fiber is characterized by amazing elasticity and strength, and the method of obtaining it is really unique. For example, the caterpillars are working on an unusual silk fan.
What a twist! Haven't you expected to see this either, have you?
For a while, it can be used as a hand fan in the summer heat. Paragliding is a sport that provides a feeling of free flight and a chance to look at the world from above. And for the viewers of the championship, this is an opportunity to see an amazing show. Unfortunately, extreme weather events and natural disasters are occurring more often, and heavy rains and floods in 2023 shook many countries in Europe and Asia. Flooding of an area with water inevitably causes material damage, destroys infrastructure, damages public health, or even leads to the death of people.
Don't forget to share the most impressive moment of this episode in the comments below. See you soon!